Accounting firm PWC Australia's aggressive growth agenda and its focus on doing whatever it takes to make a profit has contributed to integrity failures at the firm. That's the view of former Telstra CEO Ziggy Switkowski, who was commissioned by PWC to examine the firm's governance, accountability and culture after the tax leak scandal earlier this year. PWC says it has accepted and will implement the 23 recommendations in the report to improve accountability. The firm will also apply ASX corporate governance principles to the partnership. Well, joining me now live from Canberra is Labor Senator Deborah O'Neill. Senator, thanks for your time. This report has laid out a culture at PWC where the CEO had excessive power and there was a lack of accountability within the ranks, creating serious risks. Do you agree with that view here?
Yeah, look, I think that the section on culture in the report actually accords with the evidence that we've received through the Senate, through the Economics Committee and so far through the Finance and Public Administration Committee. I'm sure we'll do more documentation of that cultural practice and other matters as we move forward with the Corporations and Financial Services Committee. And I do note that there are 23 recommendations, but if you go to Mr. Switkowski's opening statement, he actually says that the 23 recommendations may prevent, he doesn't indicate they will prevent the same sort of behaviour. So even he is hedging his bets on whether what is recommended might have some impact. The other thing is I note that there are 71 mentions of the CEO, which is a significant driver of the culture that's described in this report. Yet Mr. Switkowski does not mention the CEO from the beginning of this saga, which was Mr. Luke Sayers, who was in charge through the period from 2015 through to 2020, nor does he mention Mr. Tom Seymour. And part of the reason why he doesn't mention those is because he documents how much he was told not to do by PWC. Because let's not forget that they are the ones who are actually paying for and in control of the terms of reference of this committee. So just to give you a bit of a flavour of what he was told not to do, Mr. Switkowski reports the review was expressly requested not to address or analyse root causes of these matters or identify accountabilities for any related conduct or consider any regulatory compliance implications of those matters. The independent expert was also not asked to consider and did not make any findings in relation to matters that are subject to legal proceedings or regulatory actions. The review did not undertake detailed analysis of the firm's relationship with PWC International and PWC Global Network. And that's just one paragraph on the restrictions that were put in place with regard to what Mr. Switkowski, supposedly independent, but was directed by PWC to look. So don't look there, only look here. And you can only speak to people who are in the firm from the day you're appointed until the day that you deliver us the report, which we know is about a month ago.
Yeah.
And here we have it landing today on, one of the biggest news days of the year. How interesting.
It is a big news day today. Look, there was one part of the report jumped out at me. There was this revenue is king culture where partners who brought in lots of cash were celebrated as heroes, some described as untouchables. I mean, what does this say about the behaviour at PWC?
It sounds like it was off the charts. It sounds like they had a CEO who was popularly elected and sanctioned a cowboy culture. And I don't think we can just let PWC Global off the hook, because from 2016, when this scheme to create a product, Project North America, that was designed really to defraud Australians of their rightful share of tax from international companies, PWC Global have been involved in this matter. They were in conversations with the Australian Taxation Office from 2016. PWC Australia determined that they would abuse legal professional privilege, and that is now a court finding that it was an abuse of legal professional privilege, to try and cover up all of their communications with their clients and prevent the Australian Taxation Office from seeing the dirty little scheme that they'd concocted. So there's an incredible level of hubris, arrogance, and money-making at any cost, totally jettisoning governance requirements, ignoring the responsibility to be fit and proper persons, absenting themselves of any professional responsibilities and accountability to regulators.
Senator?
Indeed, they were so bolshy. It was bad that they refused to even properly consult with the ATO. When Mr. Hirschhorn spoke to the CEO and told him to read his own emails, that CEO, Mr. Sayers, is continuing to say that he really didn't know what he was being directed to do. There's so much more yet to uncover.
Senator, thank you for joining us on the show. Unfortunately, we've run out of time.
Thank you.